I think it's really important that local authorities and charitable organisations work together in collaboration to have a look at some of the problems and challenges that are now facing children, young people and families, and work together to look at that whole system around the children and families.
One of the most important things about the whole project was how the voices of children and young people actually really influenced what the final outcome was, particularly with the Earth framework that we've developed. It was a sort of a light bulb moment when it came on, or when we actually first discovered it, because it really is a framework that a lot of services can sit in, particularly residential care, because it's something that can actually be translated into other areas.
I can't underestimate the influence that young people always have and how they always make you think and think differently about what we do.
Anybody that's had a lived experience can tell you the real story and tell you how it feels to be living that experience. So clearly when we're looking at something like residential children's home provision, it's really important that we go to them young people and we ask them how it feels for them.
So it's really important for us that we have lived experiences present in all the support and services that we're trying to develop for residents in Essex. That includes young people in care. So it's even more important that they're able to have their views expressed and embedded and reflected in everything we do, because only then we'll get the right outcomes for them.
Was they all had something to offer and talk about. Some of them had very good experiences of residential care, some had what I would describe as quite mediocre, and others had really quite poor experiences of residential care. And I think that you need that whole insight to think about how you shape and deliver the future of what you do for your young people.
So for this particular project, it's been fantastic that we've been able to reach out to so many Essex young people that are currently living that experience and ask them how it feels for them and what it would look like if it was better. So from my point of view, and running other strategic partnerships for Barnardo's, Essex absolutely had the right characteristics and preconditions to make it a successful partnership, which I believe it absolutely has been.
Essex County Council very much share our basis and values as an organisation. So I think from the day we walked in to County Hall to start this, it just felt like a team.
Well, it's been really good to work with Barnardo's as a strategic partner. We've worked with the same values, the same ethics, and we want the same outcomes for young people. So that's been really important that we've had the strategic buy-in across both organisations to be able to make this a success together. So it's really important for us now that having gathered the views of young people and have them embedded in the co-production of the Earth model, that Earth model legacy continues throughout all of our work.
We run services in Essex, but we can also be that critical friend that can come and support Essex to think about what their next steps could be, particularly around residential group care homes. But also anything to do with children's services that we can offer some support and expertise in.
I think the major thing that the report has highlighted is the importance of co-creation, co-design. So we know that whatever we'll go forward in doing in Essex, that we will engage our Young People's Children in Care Council.
There's a variety of different reasons that residential staff actually go into that line of work, and it's very seldom that it's a career path. So for me, it's about developing the staff to actually see that as a real career path, that they can improve the outcomes of these children.
And it's made us think about how we work with the market, how we make our commissioning more relational, and how the services that we offer can support our providers that work with us to provide better outcomes for young people in Essex.
Being a care leaver, you have good days, you have bad. I went from a residential home to a charity, and now I'm in the process of doing council, like going on the council ladder. So it's definitely adjustment. You adjust every day.
I was very worried because lots of people had left before me, and it wasn't a great transition, obviously, because we were all friends and they told me, you know, and later on in life I've seen that with the work I've been doing. But for me, it was from the social services side and the residential side, it was really good. I've done a lot of things involving residential, involving children in the care system and young people, and I'm always willing to give it everything, even though I know it's not always going to be the answer that they say it's going to be. And I feel with this programme that it was so professional and young person based. We always went back to the professionals, we always went back to the young people.
I think it was pretty good. Everyone got involved together, which was nice to see. Future young people getting the changes that we've asked for, because then it will kind of change instead of how it is right now.
Being part of the project was amazing, meeting all the different people, different ages, and just hearing those experiences of young people who are still in care. But then also being able to share my experience and my views from someone in my position. It was amazing.